Pistons, as we welcome you to end here at Paycom Center. A big run. Guard in place of the injured Cade Cunningham with Hardaway tripled season. No other team in the NBA has ever done that. Right now, 21 road wins and counting. Thompson tried to punch it on Holmgren, and it comes off to Dort. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander, bounced it off Thompson's leg. Pistons in transition. Inside from Hardaway to Harris for the game. KC turn it over much.
And that's exactly how Detroit has to play. They're going to play fast all night, but that time turn the tables. Usually it's the Thunder forcing turnovers, converting them into points. Detroit takes advantage here early.
Wallace getting the start tonight. During
deflections, and once they get their hands on the ball, they want to play as fast as they can.
J-Dub knocks down the three ball. He's been playing very well of late since returning from that injury, especially concentrating on getting paint touches, getting downhill more. Schroeder out top against Dort. Asor Thompson sets the screen. Schroeder rims out on the three. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander being guarded by Harris. Got the bucket to go with the left.
Man, that burst right there. He just sees any gap, and he is going to gobble up that space.
Great cut by Hardaway. First, with a wonderfully settling effect on this Pistons squad. SGA got to the rim again. That's his second field goal. Leads the NBA in points per game on drives. We've already seen it twice, Tim.
Same exact action, and you've got to get weak side rotation on that because you're not going to leave the strong side corner.
OKC with an early three-point lead. Here's Holmgren. At some point tonight, we'd expect to see the two big lineup with him and Hartenstein. Holmgren with a show and go. Blows by Duren for the punch. Point night against Chicago a couple of nights ago in their blowout win. Harris trying to post up. Blocked by J-Dub. Shots. Little split action by the Pistons. Schroeder turns the corner. Over at Wallace, a little bit strong. Duren with the offensive rebound, and he lost it to SGA. Thunder in transition. The lob, the punch, the finish, the tie.
He's day-to-day currently, but when you talk to the team, and particularly his head coach, J.B. Bickerstaff, about the improvement this young man has made, everybody knew the talent that was there with this young man, but they talk about his leadership skills, particularly J.B. Bickerstaff focused on his empathy, as you see a block there by OKC. Talked about his empathy towards his teammates, something he'd never seen at that age from a young player, that he basically caters to each individual player on a day-to-day basis, game-to-game basis, even play-to-play basis on what they may
to be successful in this league. And I think, Jonesy, the year he's had, the season that this team has had, I think Cade Cunningham most likely is going to find himself on an all-league team when it's all said and done.
I feel you on that. Putting up great numbers. His team right now, the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. Who would have thought? Thompson on the break. Been a nice story since his comeback from that blood clotting issue. Holmgren trying to turn the corner against Duren. Does, and one! He's done a great job with Donnie Strack, the performance director for the Thunder over the last couple of years. OKC out to an 8-point lead, just underway here. They run some elbow action with Duren. He's been much better and developing as a playmaker. Harris against Dort, tough shot, and way off. Lou Dort, one of the best on-ball defenders in the game. Here he is at the offensive end, a catch-and-shoot three. And it comes off to the Pistons.
Yeah, and if Detroit's going to try to operate in a lot of one-on-one situations against Lou Dort in the middle of the floor, there's going to be some empty trips. He's just too tough to get around and contest everything.
Hardaway Jr. laces that three. Brings the Pistons back to within 5. It's a quick 2-game road trip for Detroit. Alexander on the cross and tween. Float game is pure. Got that to go over Schroeder. 6 quick points in the first quarter for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Thompson on the probe. Use that Nash dribble out to Hardaway Jr. That's his second consecutive 3-ball. Bickerstaff got the win against his former team.
Yeah, 41% from the three in his last 10 games. Lou Dort lines one up.
Schroeder on the wing against SGA. They run their split action. Nice speed. Harris couldn't make the catch. And here's Holmgren on the break, on the handle. A cutting Wallace with the layup. This team moves so well without the basketball, Tim.
And more than ever, it's difficult to defend them in early offense because of how well they're shooting the three right now. So defensively, and a very timely cut for the layup.
That foul was against Cason Wallace. Hardaway Jr. heat check. That one comes off to Holmgren. And he'll bring it across. Has a head of steam against Harris. Hit him with the in and out dribble and draws the % free throw shooter on the season. Well, it's time for tonight's national TV scape as Suns, Celtics, Nuggets, Warriors. For more on these games, please go to NBA app. Tim, you and I are both talking about the alerts we got from our respective buddies through text messages. Hey, Steph's on fire. Turn the game on. He was brilliant.
Yeah, I know. I got a buddy listening to the game right now that hit me with that first one. Steph alert. I was already tuned in.
Yeah, Wallace alert here. Finishing on the break.
That's what they do
run.
More than any team in the league. Like, that's why it's so imperative. You have to get a shot up on the glass of the backboard every trip. Turnovers if you're Detroit. But it's imperative against this team. You're just not going to be in the game if that turnover number.
Even more, Tim, the story is them not being able to not turn the ball.
Biggest part probably of what happens here tonight. And Detroit hasn't been great with it here early.
Williams, master of the mid-range. Lead swelling to 14 already. Reed checks into the ball game for Detroit. Schroeder couldn't finish at the rim. Good protection by Holmgren. Handling on the break here. Dort pulls the three ball. And that one off.
Seen a very aggressive Chet Holmgren here early. Whether he's looking for himself or just pushing the ball with his handle to force action early up the floor.
Reed on the grenade action gives it back to Schroeder.
That this team wants to play.
Commissioner Silver reserving his seat. A little over 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Schroeder knocks down the second, but Schroeder allows Cunningham to play off ball moving forward. A different look for the Pistons, right?
Definitely, and especially the way he can push the ball to the open floor. You'll see Cade Cunningham running in to some early three-point opportunities.
And SGA doesn't
get to the line a ton.
Leads the NBA, folks, in 20-point games, 30-point games. The only player in the league that's rated in the top 5 in both offensive and
to start. We wanted to take a look at this one.
Played every time we take the court. I think it's pretty sharp right now, man.
Yeah, well, look, there has been a relentlessness to this team, without question. There's just no let-up. They believe over a period of 48 minutes, the amount of pressure they apply to you defensively eventually is going to get you to crack.
Little zone look right now by the Pistons, legs. Hartenstein wins
for your back
on the season. Team best 22nd one. It's a 30-17 lead for the team with the best record in the NBA coming into play tonight. Schroeder, straight line drive, and Hartenstein a little bit too late. Schroeder with the layup.
Yeah, it's such a change of speed that he gives you. Incredible start-stop acceleration ability and able to get into very tight windows in the paint to get it on the glass.
2.8 points per game. Bring it almost 30.
In just 34 minutes a night. The efficiency has just been unbelievable with that level of production.
Beasley off the mark on that three pull, bringing him in. Fontecchio over to Reed inside. Took the bump, counted. Let me ask you this, how many field goal attempts?
I think he's got to be up pushing that 18 to 20 or more tonight. And I think it's important that he gets a couple of touches now as he's just checked into the game.
Got to get those jacks up, back up to 11. Under 3.5 to go. That's his first field goal. Some angle pick and roll by Schroeder. Out to Fontecchio. On the baseline, had it partially blocked by SGA, and the Thunder get the stop. And there you see Gilgeous-Alexander's defensive value. Jones drives it, lost it.
Last minute, so it's all hands on deck in the paint.
Good defense by Isaiah Joe, baseline to Waters. School at Oklahoma State, about an hour and a half from here in Stillwater. Still has a lot of friends and family members here. Jones back out to Joe. 10 on the shot clock for the Thunder. Williams working on Fontecchio. Jones with the show and go. Wonderful patience on the shot clock. And they come up with another theft. This time it's SGA that started the Larson. It's a tip. Already games worth already.
Yeah, and all of those were at the rim. We're not talking jump shots. You're talking about pretty much 10 guaranteed points Detroit doesn't get. And then you see also the turnovers that Oklahoma City's converted. Tough to really make him more valuable.
2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. The lead down to 12. Gilgeous-Alexander already with 11 points in the ball game. Working against Thompson. That's a fun matchup. That time, Thompson engulfed that ball. And I would bet on him becoming a very good shooter, Tim, because he's working with Fred Vinson. Fred Vinson is one of the best.
Valuable long term.
Little guard screening action out front for SGA. Got into the paint and lays it in. That's 13. Bickerstaff calls out the offensive set. Thompson put his head down, lost the handle. Jones back the other way. Williams in transition. Tough pass by Hartenstein, made it through somehow. A contested three by
penetration to the paint, getting layups. So we just got to show a little bit more resistance out there.
They also turn your ball security.
Yeah, just calm down, let the game come to us. Don't go out there forcing anything, and just play the right way. We've been through this situation before, and we just got to go out there and compete.
Timmy, good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, guys, back to you.
Well, George, they gave up another bucket in the paint.
Where you don't get a bump and a help, that's a miscommunication. So a number of mistakes have been made, but KC, since February 1st. But you've got to live with something. Right now, it's too easy for OKC in the paint and at the line.
It's not like Detroit is a subpar defensive team. They're the 9th in defensive rating, and there's a turnover by the Thunder, a rare one. Duran running the lane, tried to catch a body.
The OKC concedes nothing once the ball is behind the initial line of defense.
Here's J-Dub. There's that big screening action that Coach Dagnall has talked about. Wallace with a straight line drive, left it short, caught his ball to a work in progress.
It is, and they haven't had really a lot of extended minutes together, but it certainly gives you a much different look, and the versatility both of those guys have defensively allows it.
Beasley's 0 for 3 after that three-point miss, but Hardaway Jr. picking him up with the 3 ball. Lead is down to 12. That's going to be his 3rd make from deep. Hartenstein with a pass to Isaiah Joe. Tried to...
Beasley and Hardaway Jr. are primarily guys coming off screens looking to shoot it. You got Billy the guy.
Being guarded by Holmgren. Hardaway Jr. out top. Beasley going to pull another 3. And he's having a tough start to this ball game. Now 0 for 4 from deep. Hartenstein had a layup but gave it up for the 3 ball from Chet. Wallace with the rebound. Hartenstein missed, tipped up. Thompson on the run out. Called for the lob. Wow!
Up the floor from where he began that play to being able to catch up to that lob. Really incredible.
Incredible acceleration. Turn out top. Rips through against Hartenstein. Beasley still trying to find it and still can't from deep. Now 0 for 6, and that's going to... He and Beasley will get a breather. Lead is at 12. Out of the horn set, Hartenstein. Gives it to J-Dub. He is one of the most prolific mid-range scorers we have in the league. That's 7 in the ball game for him.
Just have to tip your cap because that is great defense by Dennis Schroeder. Cut him off twice, and he still makes the mid-range jumper.
They move it around. One more to Hardaway. Got inside, raises up.
To make a very difficult mid-range shot.
Hardaway Jr. knocks down defeat at the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Tim, when The Cavaliers, if you remember, went zone against them, and that proved to be a little bit of a turning point for the Thunder in terms of how they look at things offensively moving forward.
And I wonder why, if you wonder why more teams haven't tried that, very few teams have that double big lineup behind them with Allen and Mobley to protect the rim when you go zone.
We've seen a little bit of zone from the Pistons here tonight, but nothing has seemed to work. There's a look at the numbers again.
You just don't see dominance like that against another conference, period. And I know it's a little bit top-heavy in the East with Boston and Cleveland, but there's some tough road wins in that something you could potentially take a look at.
DeRozan and the Sacramento Kings, our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. Mavs and Kings both battling for that 9-10 position in the Western Conference. The Mavs in Atlanta right now. Meanwhile, boy, Doug Christie has done a nice job for the Kings, but they lost tonight in Washington. Williams turns the corner, an easy lefty lay.
He's one of the best in this league at coming off dribble handoffs. Tight, turning quickly, getting downhill.
Harris got it back at the other end. Detroit undermanned, understaffed, hanging tough tonight. Playing without their best player, Cade Cunningham. Wallace with the same foot, same hand lay.
Just too easy for OKC with the dribble penetration. That's 32 points in the paint.
Wow. Tobias Harris, a little reverse pivot. Fires over J-Dub and cashes out. Come back to Detroit when he signed as a free agent. Wanted to be part of the rebuild and mentor some of these younger players. Done a nice job this year. Joe off the dribble handoff. Hardaway stayed right with him. 7 on the shot clock. Look at the good denied defense by the Pistons, but they give up the shot to Hart.
Releasing those doves into the air with that soft shot. I mean, it's uncanny, the touch that the big man has, and that was a deep one.
Tell you what, the autism community in the NBA is so wonderfully strong. Joe Ingles' son also is autistic, as is Max, Scott's son. And when Scott got to Salt Lake City to coach with the Jazz, Joe Ingles' family was integral in hooking up Scott Morrison's family with a supportive community and even a school. Here's J-Dub at the other end. The lead down to 12. Deep three by Joe comes off to Harris.
I feel like Detroit now is getting into a rhythm on this end. They're starting to score and figure out this defense a little bit. The other end of the floor has been a nightmare, though, to this point.
And there's another turnover, and there's another run out by the Thunder. Rinse and repeat. Number 1 in the league in that category. Here's Dort back out top to Joe. A little second side action by Williams, piercing the paint.
Rim run for the Oklahoma City Thunder have not really had to work very hard from the perimeter or been forced to make shots.
Empty corner two-man game with Harris and Schroeder. Now they clear it out for Tobias Harris. Tough midi on the way, and it's Cash.
It's a shot he loves, and he's 6'8". He's got an advantage over anybody in front of him on the wings for Oklahoma City, and he's taking advantage with 2 baseline jumpers.
But the Thunder play with a lot of pace, getting into the front court pretty quickly, even after makes. The deflection goes to Dort. He drives it in, and Reed. It's been a double-digit lead for OKC for most of the ball game. SGA got to his spot, couldn't convert. Loose ball, Wallace fighting for it, and it comes off to the Pistons and Hardaway Jr.
SGA just had a 7-minute break there at the start of this quarter. So he's going to try to reestablish his rhythm here over the last 4.5 minutes.
Already with 15 in the game. Hardaway Jr. drives it on Holmgren. Tried to quick shoot him, but missed the layup. But the outlet, this Piston team will do its best to hang around. In the words of Coach Dagnall, Detroit is a team that plays on an empty stomach. They are constantly hungry. Give you a lot of effort. Schroeder missed on the 3. And Chet clears. Holmgren on the bounce. And the step through draw.
I think people in Denver think that too. When you look at 6 straight now against the Nuggets, and not to mention what happened last year in that comeback in the Western Conference Finals. Yes, the Western Conference second round.
On Game 7 on the road in Denver. Schroeder with the drive, missed it. Reed with the board, reversed it home. Down to 11, short-handed, hanging around. There's that smash action they run with Holmgren. Gap is seat. Wow.
Much to be determined, but one thing that's already been determined, who the 1 seed is in Oklahoma City, closing in on securing home court advantage all the way through the finals.
Think they hit 70 wins?
They got to run the streak the rest of the way to do that.
If they keep shooting like that, they just back up to 14. They've already set a franchise record for wins as residents of Oklahoma City. A win tonight as Harris knocks down the midi would tie the record for franchise record wins going back to their Seattle days.
Well, you've got to do that. You'd have to win tonight. Then you've got Houston, the Lakers twice, and then 3 teams not playing for a whole lot to close out the year. So really, it's about these next 4, and they might organically get 70 without really having to push it too hard.
Harris a little bit strong on the 3. Of course, OKC might want to keep an eye on Cleveland for best record overall in the NBA to get home court advantage if it gets as far as the NBA Finals. Hardaway Jr., boy, he's been knocking down his 3-pointers tonight. Hardaway. Gilgeous-Alexander got into the paint through the contact.
That's demoralizing because you actually did have great backline defense there and went vertical, didn't foul him, but he was able to hang in the air long enough to stay on balance and get it to go.
Schroeder out top behind the Reed screen. Got an open look from 15 and left it short. Gilgeous-Alexander looking to push. Comes off to Williams. Got it back. And this time cleared by Reed. Reed looks a little gassed. Pistons a little bit shorthanded tonight. Out of the break. Schroeder out top. Beasley off the screen. Still trying to buy one. Back out to Harris. Hardaway Jr. knocks it down. Man, as the Thunder bring it across to start this 3rd quarter. Let's go to George.
Jonesy legs. I spoke to Mark Dacknall, the head coach of the Thunder, coming out of the tunnel here at the half. And I asked him, as you see Jalen, deal with the rebounding. They got to do a better job rebounding. They feel like they do that, they can.
All right, George, as they complete the 3-point play, the lead up to 9. Schroeder getting the start tonight if you're just joining us. Kate Cunningham out again for the 4th consecutive game, and boy, the Pistons turn it over again. Gilgeous-Alexander trying to turn the corner. Tough shot, and rebounded by Harris. Thompson with the ball had those 3 fouls blocked by Holmes. Here's Wallace, little show and go on Hardaway. Back out to Dort, made his last one. That moon ball off the mark.
And Chet Holmgren just gives you such a false sense of hope that you see daylight and you can get to the rim. He is always lurking and tracking you, and he's got great timing.
Gilgeous-Alexander with great hands defensively knocks it away to Wallace. And Wallace converts with a classy spin.
3rd quarter starting like the beginning, and a blocked shot at the rim. That's almost exactly what happened in the first 45 minutes of the game.
Schroeder's bank 3 is off. And Chet with the grab and go into the front.
9th 3-pointer made between the 2 teams, which is an incredibly low number by today's standards.
Holmgren back out to Gilgeous-Alexander. Good hands by Thompson to knock it away. Shot clock at 9. Williams pulls. Gilgeous-Alexander with the board. Holmgren missed the tip, but got to games, scoring 20 or more. His name on a graphic with now Shea tapping in at 69.
How about finding yourself at the top of a list with 80 of anything? And
pardon me, he's got 20. Hardaway with 21. Pistons off to a lethargic beginning here in the 3rd quarter. Harris Knocked away, and there again, another turnover. Trying to convert at the other end. That pass
in the post. And then you always have the weak side help coming, and Tobias Harris that time must have just felt like he was completely engulfed down there, led to the run out for OKC.
They contest everything. Duren with the reverse layup, got it to go. Jalen Duren missing his pick and roll partner, Cade Cunningham, tonight. He's averaging a double-double on the season. Here's Holmgren. Williams. And it comes off to Duren. Pistons looking to get an easy one at the other end. Thompson running the floor. Got the reverse layup to go. First Final Four, and Jaime Jaquez's sister having a nice game. Wallace with the offensive rebound, going against Tobias Harris. Gabriela Jaquez from UCLA. Going to be watching her in the women's Final Four. Philadelphia, I know your favorite.
No doubt about it. Philly legend.
Duren two-man game with Schroeder, got to the rim in the layup. Elite back down to 10. George, what's up?
Jonesy, legs. Listen, I can't sell my UCLA Bruins, Lady Bruins short here, okay?
Okay.
First time they've made it to the Final Four in the NCAA.
Up in your squad, George. I love it.
From Tampa, begins at 6. Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi are back doing their own commentating on the games on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. That show always very enlightening and entertaining. Off the floppy action, Hardaway Jr. missing the 3. Here's Williams into the front court. Chet had a notion from deep. Back out to J-Dub. Inside to Chet, over Duren, got it.
A nice job by Chet Holmgren, able to catch that. An easy thing to absorb. He was able to still turn and get up a soft shot.
Schroeder with the DHO. Look at Wallace all over Schroeder. Run some pistol action. Nice spin move by Duren. Everything but the bucket. Thompson with that quick second jump, couldn't get it to go. Wallace on the fly, and Thompson
Providing resistance, but
wide open. That seems like a while ago now, because Dort is averaging pretty much 40% from deep on the season.
52% in his last 9 coming in, too. So he was feeling it, as most of their roster has been of late from the three-point line.
Beasley on the drive. He's had a tough night shooting at that 2 falls. That tough shooting night from deep tonight. I believe it's at 15. Gilgeous-Alexander couldn't convert. Pistons with a run out, 2-on-1. But that one is Holmgren. That counts for 2 sometimes. Man, he got put in the weight room by Hardaway Jr.
Hardaway held on to it himself and took matters into his own hands to get to the rim.
Holmgren inside. Back at Hardaway Jr. in a sweet finger roll. Boy, you talked about it. Functional strength. That's what Chet Holmgren has. A wiry, lithe frame, but boy, it's coming with big-time results, especially tonight. He's got 18. Beasley got it back from Duren. And Malik, the three-point shooting freak,
One at a time for Malik Beasley. You know, at some point, he's not going to stop shooting, as he shouldn't. Shooters shoot, and he was going to get one to go at some point.
Gilgeous-Alexander smoked the layup inside, got it back. Duren got the block. Back out to J-Dub on the drive. Got it, and
You're out. Offensively, they're scoring again, but they just have not had an answer here in the third quarter for OKC defensively.
Bickerstaff makes the call from the sidelines. Beasley again pulls the 3. This one comes off, and Malik Beasley off the bench tonight. Just 1 of 8 from deep. SGA trying to walk down Hardaway Jr. Got to his spot, but missed the mark. Quick hit head. Reed on the move. Steps through and hold on, partner. Hold on. You trying to say that's a risky pass?
That decision.
Bounced it a couple times. Got to the
14-point game right here. This 4.5 minutes to close this quarter out. Critical for Detroit if they want to be in this game going into the fourth quarter. Starts here. Resistance and stops.
Good switch by Beasley onto SGA. Here's Jalen Williams straightaway three. Rattles out. Good block out. Hartenstein first one to the deck. But B-ball Paul comes out with it. Schroeder leading the break. They got a 4-on-3. Good closeout by Williams. Schroeder pulls. Got it. And the lead is down to 11 with just under 4 minutes to go in the third. Schroeder with 13.
That's all Paul Reed. He dove on that loose ball, came up with it with two blue jerseys around him, and triggered that break.
A contested three by SGA is off. Hartenstein telling us that the tipping point was during the Emirates in-season tournament. A win against Indy, the Pacers in Indianapolis, as SGA knocks down the jump shot in a pressurized situation. He kind of felt, albeit early, they turned a very significant corner and set the tone and tenor for the rest of the year.
Well, the first thing you have to do is make guys believe after that kind of a year. And they established that in camp. He said it was the most competitive training camp he had conducted because they needed that to fight for everything. And that's been the message from day. Different times, it looked like OKC ready to put them away, and they keep digging to stay in the game.
Hartenstein a little bit strong. Reed with the rebound. Reed has his cardio back after being hunched over a little bit earlier. Schroeder snaking the screen, pulls it out with 12 on the shot clock. Here's Fontecchio. DHO to Beasley. Nice pocket pass to Fontecchio. Reed kept it alive, pursues the rebound. And
sometimes you feel like you're really in a street fight, and Paul Reed has come up with a couple extra possessions for Detroit.
Here he is at the offensive end. And a little bit off the mark, rebounded by the Thunder. Lead at 12. Gilgeous-Alexander with 25 in the ball game through rush hour traffic, and a foul
shows that. Instead, this time
not return in this game, guys.
Wow, he had from injury for this game, had missed the last 2 games with right Achilles pain, so that obviously acting up again.
Okay, throwing a little zone at him here as well, Jonesy. They haven't really given Detroit this look very much tonight, but they do here.
Down,
come on, man, that's a lot of punishment.
Fontecchio knocks down the second one. The starter for most of the season last year with the Pistons. He and Cade Cunningham have seen the marked precipitous improvement this year. Waters trying to guard his former teammate SGA. Got to his spot and cashes out. Checks into the office, and he's up to 29.
You know, he baits you into thinking you're beat baseline because he's so quick. You overreact to that penetration because that's a tough spot to drive from, and he steps back for the jumper.
Thompson missing with the left. Duran following with the offensive board. Tried to muscle it up. Got blocks for this Pistons team. He's really improved as a player out of the short roll with Cade Cunningham, who's unavailable tonight. Duran was one and done at Memphis. Gilgeous-Alexander has scored the low off the DHO.
To start this one, and that the bigs rotation was a work in progress. How do you feel that process is going?
It's great. Just like anything, there's ups and downs, but, you know, we're committed to getting it right in the long run, and, you know, we're working out the kinks.
Chad, good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, back to you.
Holmgren with a great stat line tonight. Starting the fourth quarter. Jalen Williams, a.k.a. J-Dub, over to Holmgren. At 3 off the mark. Got a
Tim Hardaway Jr. had a few early, but it's very difficult to come by, and it starts with dribble penetration. You can get in the paint. Typically, that's going to lead to good shots on the perimeter. Flood to the lane against them to get perimeter looks.
Well, you talk 3-point shots. There's one right there by Lindy Waters. I'm a member of this OKC squad several years ago. Duran with a nice ball. Schroeder out of the timeout after the successful challenge by the Pistons. They reversed the call on the floor. It was not goaltending.
Opportunity here to potentially get it to 10, and you don't even get an opportunity to run a set because of an illegal screen.
Just underway here in the final quarter. Off the miss, it comes out to Holmgren. Wallace for 3. Thompson got above the rim and snatched that ball out of the air. Here's Thompson, one more. Waters. On. Thompson hands it off to Schroeder. Schroeder got downhill and rolled it in.
25 feet, as quick as Dennis Schroeder when he gets low to the ground, puts his head down.
Lead is down to 11. Pistons made a run in the second quarter to cut it to 4 at one point. Williams. Tough shot. And
that's become something that you're seeing now.
More visit the NBA app. How do they move forward without Kevin Durant in the short term because of that sprained ankle? Right now, the Suns 11th in the Western Conference, trying to reel in Sacramento, who lost tonight in Washington. Schroeder jabs and goes. Got it over Holmgren, but it missed the mark. Lead stays at 12. Here's Case and Wallace.
Absorbs the contact, and then, of course, the key, sell it. And he sold that very well.
Waters at the other end, back to Schroeder. Fires the three, a little bit strong. Duren corrals the rebound and the putback. And the lead is down to 10. Duren now with 11 points, 12 rebounds, pretty much right at his season average in both. And that's going to be a foul on Waters.
Oh, because of the depth. He doesn't worry about runs with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the bench by the other team. Because he has a lot of answers. Nice drive there by Case and Wallace with the left hand to finish.
They got so many weapons, and the three good. Malik Beasley with his second three ball. Back out to Wallace. Drives it by Thompson. Beasley on the edges against Holmgren. Holmgren trying to walk him down. Got to the rim and laid it in.
Gets it to single digits, and Chet Holmgren just too good. Late in the clock, has to do all of that on his own. The left hand.
Duren over Hartenstein and got it. Trying to use Duren a little bit more as a hub off the elbows. What do you make of that?
I mean, for a guy that just looks like a straight-up power player, he has a lot of skill and great footwork, and they want to utilize that.
Thompson on the break, over to Waters. They run him off the three-point line, put it on a platter, but it came out. Thompson sent it. Riley, the others, doing it with two entirely different rosters to turn it over after winning 60 and win 60 again is very remarkable. Of course, they were able to hoard a lot of draft picks along the way, and we'll see if it pays the ultimate dividend this time around. Remember, they got to the finals against the Heat that one year back in 2011 and 12 and lost. James Harden ended up leaving for Houston. And they're still trying to get back to the finals.
Them apply to Oklahoma City all night.
Cross court to Hartenstein. And they turn it over. Good defense by Reed. Up to Thompson on the break. Got picked clean by Hartenstein. Williams. Wallace for three. That rims out right to Schroeder.
Detroit now with their third opportunity here. Didn't take advantage of the last two with a missed shot and a turnover.
Thompson underneath. Good find to Reed for the layup. And JB Bickerstaff has done with them this year. Right now, 5th in the Eastern Conference and down by just 4, albeit shorthanded without their best player, Cade Cunningham. Probably All-NBA this year. 7-0 run for Detroit. Spray to the corner. Holmgren for three. And it rims out to Reed. They can get it down to 2 here. Schroeder directing traffic. Off the wide action. Boy, that was halfway down and well below the regular season percentage. On the pick and pop, Holmgren. This one misses 2. Wallace there for the offensive board. Gilgeous-Alexander will dial one up. That comes off. And Reed with another defensive board. Right, with a little bit of pace, Schroeder pops the clutch, got blocked by Holmgren, collects it. Up to Gilgeous-Alexander. Fontecchio got pushed off a little bit. Dort for three, finally!
Catch. Chet Holmgren beat on that drive. Tremendous reaction by Holmgren, which leads to OKC finally getting a three-point shot to go.
11 for Dort in the ball game after that three. Reed drives it on Holmgren. Sprays it out to Fontecchio from deep. Lead remains at 7. Under 5 minutes to go. The Thunder trying to keep their 10-game winning streak intact. One more to the corner. Williams fires. Holmgren collects it and Holmgren at the free throw line, a 72% foul on Eastern time. Boy, Luka, we saw what AD did tonight. He had an impressive, I think it was 34, 14, or 15, and 5 blocks in a Mavericks win. That's going to be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being in the building for that one.
Beasley connecting on another 3. He's up to 11 on the night. 6-point game. Gilgeous-Alexander with the stare down 3, way short. Schroeder off the drag screen. Beasley working against Williams. A high floater tipped up and in by who else but Thompson.
This is a floater, but it comes up soft enough for Asar Thompson to have a putback on the opposite side.
13 and 8 for Thompson. Dort misfiring. And Detroit can get it down to 2.
I think OKC's helping Detroit out right now with some quick threes.
Empty corner pick and roll with Duren and Schroeder. There's the mismatch. Duren, count it. Dribble handoff to J-Dub from the mid-range. He is the president of the MIDI committee tonight.
And I think you have to be up on a dribble handoff if he's involved, because he is taking that straight downhill either to the rim or for a mid-range.
Lead back to 6 and the turnover. Dort brings it across. Hardaway on Gilgeous-Alexander. Going to try and walk him down. The double comes. Williams, one more to Dort. Pulls the 3. And it's wet. He's got 14. Lead back up to 9. Duren to the rim. Tried to hit.
Additional turnovers after that OKC cashes in on with a mid-range by Jalen Williams and a 3 by Lou Dort.
Flat ball screen by Dort. Jalen Williams lost the handle. Goes right to Thompson. 2-on-1 with Hardaway Jr. Thompson couldn't get that. The lob was off the mark. Gathers inside and misfires. Approaching 2 minutes to go. Gilgeous-Alexander with 29 points. Leading the way for the Thunder. Staring down Schroeder. Good gap help there by Beasley at the nail. Out to Dort. A logo 3 is way off to Schroeder. Beasley, one more. Finds Hardaway open. Duren battling Holmgren, and Holmgren comes away with it.
You really needed that one to go to give yourself a chance here. Could have gotten to a 2-possession game. That's a clean look for Tim Hardaway Jr.
Holmgren with his 10th double-double after that rebound. Dort with the ghost screen for SGA from the mid-range. That's his 48th 30-point game. Beasley blew a tire. Ball bouncing wildly off the glass. Comes to Duren. Man, he was surrounded like... And the air feels like it's come out of the Pistons' sails right now.
Yeah, that sequence really, I thought, was the defining sequence of the game for Detroit.
Yep.
It's just been an onslaught as they just keep applying pressure and eventually crack the code, and they've been able to do it here over the last couple of minutes.
Man, Thompson tried to punch.
In continuing the identity and the mentality of how hard they're going to have to fight. Being this short-handed and really getting this to almost a 1-possession game inside 3 minutes. They've done a great job, really, on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Country. Game-winning streak earlier this year.
Don't see, and the attention to detail that they have. And the other thing that this win is going to do, 70 wins still a possibility for the OKC Thunder if they run the table.
I love this conversation between Shai and Schroeder. I know they're friends, but This is business.
Dennis got a short fuse.